Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go over some of our 5 leadership challenges, and if we could just talk about like it affects your organization and how you see it.
Okay.
How do you align your mission, methods, and resources?
I align my mission, method, and resources. That's a hard question.
Or the organization, I guess.
Yeah, because it's not, it's us all working together. I mean, I just don't know how to, for me, myself, that's a really hard question to answer, because our CEO, I see that as his mission. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different departments to Methodist Home, and, as having a good leadership team. So we have 5 vice presidents and 1 president, and their job is to make sure that what we say in our mission statement is what we're doing and what people are carrying out. Like, so for me as a coordinator, making sure that his statement and his mission and what we say that we're doing, that I'm living that every day. So I don't know if that kind of answers it or not, but the leadership team, they meet monthly, and they come up and they'll let us know if we're not meeting that mission. If you say this is what we're saying, that we do, and then in foster care you're doing something different, we need to come back together. And aligning resources, gosh, that once again, that's everything, that's all of us working together and having a strong CEO to be able to do that. I'd like to say that I can do that, but I really can't. So.
Okay, so how do you feel you're able to balance the organization's personal interest along with your mission and your goal to make sure you don't, I guess, go one way or the other, where you get more interested in your own personal good rather than what your goal is?
So how do I be mindful of my own personal mission as opposed to the mission of the agency? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's easy, because my personal mission and the agency's mission are kind of the same. So whenever you work for an agency that you believe in what they're doing, and it's already something that you are already believing yourself, it makes it really easy. You know what I mean? I hate to make it like that general a statement, but working with kids and families and making sure that they're safe and secure, and making sure that there's some spiritual guidance with that, has always been something that I've wanted to do. So working for Methodist it just makes sense. So there's never like a conflict. It's never a conflict of interest, of my own personal interest, in what Methodist is asking me to do. It just kind of goes hand in hand, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I can imagine for some people that don't believe our mission that could be a struggle, but we don't have too many people that work for us that don't believe our mission. I mean, I hate to say that, but a lot of people are right in line with where we're going. So
makes sense. If you're going to be a part of this organization, you're going to have already an interest in what's going on.
Yeah.
How do you capitalize on opportunities associated with diversity?
How do you capitalize on opportunities associated with diversity? What are you really looking for, so I can...
How do you make sure you don't target just one percentage of the population?
When hiring employees, but also when dealing with your clientele, so to speak, how do you ensure that the people that you serve are a diverse group? Like,
well, I think this is, because it's hard to answer that question in what we do, because we do have a diverse population. Mm-hmm. So the kind of nonprofit that we are, because we're working with kids at risk, mm-hmm. Already you're dealing with a diverse kind of group. So it's not like we really have to ensure that, because we're open to any race, culture, gender, anything. Any kid that comes in the door, we're open to serving, and we get kids from all different places and backgrounds. So whenever it comes to kids, it's not like we really have to make sure that we're diversified, because that's what we do. You know what I mean? Whenever it comes to staff, making sure that we're advertising our positions in all different places and locations to reach all sectors, of humanity, I guess. Just to make sure that we get, because we don't want to miss out on a good employee that may be from a different culture that's not getting, where we publicize our information, where we say our job opportunities. So, we're always out there looking for the best workers, but also making sure that we have workers that we have a combination of workers, because it's good to have people that from different backgrounds and different races and even different religions. You know, we're a Methodist home for children, but we have people from different religions as well, that aren't all Methodist, because it gives you a different perspective. So I know for me, like, you know, I have 12 employees. Well, I wouldn't want to hire everybody that's the exact same, because it doesn't give me a diverse group. You know what I mean? They're all having the same thoughts. So, you know, for me, it's very intentional to make sure that I'm looking at all applicants fairly and equally, if that's what, I think that's what you're asking. So.
Do you feel that your organization is moving beyond charity to systematic change?
I'd say definitely, because our agency really, to say that we're doing charity, what kind of doesn't make sense, because I mean this is just what we do. You know what I mean? So we're a different kind of nonprofit, I guess. I hate to, like, it's just different. I could understand that question for another kind of agency, but for us, you know, we're working with kids and families that are at risk, and kids and families that are already involved in the system. And so we couldn't do it any other way. Like, we're going to keep working with these kids and families and keep trying to make sure that there's good services and enough services for families. So it's, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not like charity work. I guess that's what
really do charity.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's, you know, this is, you know, we ask people to do charity work for us. You know what I mean, to help our kids and families, because our kids are at risk and they are part of the system, and you know, we have a whole sector of kids that are, you know, have been, you know, exploited and abused and everything like that. So we really look to people to help us whenever it comes to charitable time and donations. I don't know if that makes sense, but what was the second part of that question you said?
Are you going for, is your organization going for a systematic change, and that a permanent change in the way, like a permanent change in children's, I guess you could say, in children's lives in the situation.
So I kind of answered that.
Yeah.
I just was just making sure. I'm like, did I answer that?
I was also going to say, because I think that, sorry, I'm like interrupting, but because the donor dinners that you guys do or whatever, that for the legislators, that seems like they're trying to make legislative change, you know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to show that they appreciate their support. So that kind of seems like that would answer that leadership, like, you know what I'm saying?
Because we go, like, for example, when was that, in August or September, we went and did a legislation rally. So we attended it with North Carolina Foster Parenting Association group and Children Family Service agencies. They were all there, and we actually went down to legislation, you know, went to the state offices and met representatives and talked to them about what our kids' needs are and what legislation could do to make it better for our kids that are in the system. So and then once they passed it and they increased the rates and they made things better for us, we then had those, you know, those dinners to recognize those representatives who really were out there making a difference for our kids. So, I mean, we're involved. It's, you know, it's not just social work what we do here. You have to be involved in politics too, because our kids are affected by the changes that, you know, that the state makes. And whenever they want to cut programs, we want to make sure that they're not cutting any funding whenever it comes to our kids in care. So, I don't know if that works.
That sounds good.
I kind of get off to a tangent at times. I'm sorry.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I'll ask.